Thanks for joining us from the Ohio AgNet. Voice you know with the News You Trust studio. Sponsored by BASF, where you can count on the trusted performance of Allivo seed treatment to protect your soybean crop. I'm Allison Kinney. Now let's take a look at what's making agricultural news. After a tariff war stalled trade for months, Reuters said shipments of U.S. crops headed to China are picking up in number. At least 6 large cargo vessels are scheduled to fill up with soybeans at the Gulf Coast terminals through mid-December. A shipping schedule that has been seen by Reuters this week said a 7th U.S. soybean cargo was loaded during the previous weekend and is already headed out to China, the first shipment since May. While the White House announced that China agreed to buy 12 million metric tons of U.S. soybeans by the end of this month, Beijing has yet to confirm any details about potential promises to purchase the large volumes of U.S. soybeans. USDA data showed Chinese importers booked nearly 2 million metric tons of U.S. soybeans last month for delivery in the 2025-2026 marketing year. That will end in August of 2026. U.S. sorghum shipments have also restarted to China. Now to Ty Higgins as he looks into water management with all of the recent land developments.
I had the chance to sit in on the Ohio No-Till Conference yesterday in Plains City. A lot of interesting items discussed, including AI, grazing cover crops, and water management was on top of mind, especially with all the development happening within central Ohio and beyond. Fred Yoder's in the heart of the changing landscape. He farms in Plains City. He says some of the things he and many of the farmers in the room already do will help with water management down the road.
I just think we really need to manage the water we do get. 25 to 27,000 gallon extra capacity just by having one more point of organic matter. We've seen that in our own farm. One of the things that you do to manage your risk is you make your soil more resilient. And so you're going to have to be able to basically deal with that too much water early. And that means, cover crops and no-till is going to really help you. And then when it turns off dry, it's just reverse it. So you've got that 50,000 gallon of extra capacity that's going to get you through the dry times.
Yoder says that thought process certainly played out during the 2025 growing season.
We did not think we were going to get much as far as yield. We were really playing it down. We had phenomenal yields for what we had. I mean, it's amazing. And there's a combination of that. That's number one, I think, is managing the water, that we actually had some reserves when it did turn off really dry. But we also used these genetics today are just phenomenal. I mean, that's the one time I don't think we need to skimp on our genetics. These genetics will take way more water. How many times have you seen soybeans survive 2 to 3 days underwater? It used to be in 24 hours, it was done, but they're surviving now. So technology is our friend, but it's also, it's a way to manage that risk.
For the Ohio AgNet, I'm Ty Higgins reporting.
Thanks, Ty. Now it's time to check in with our weekly update from the Ohio Soybean Council and your checkoff dollars at work.
Joining me today is Mike Steenhoek. Mike is the Executive Director for the Soy Transportation Coalition. Mike, thanks so much for your time this morning. Railroads, the topic of the day, especially in light of some of the proposed mergers. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, and this is really seismic within the rail industry, and it's going to be very profound for the broader economy. This potential merger between two of the largest railroads operating in the United States, Union Pacific and Norfolk Southern. So as a result of that, you have Eastern railroads and Western railroads. You have a series of kind of handoff points from one area to the next. And one of the things that the proponents of this merger, Union Pacific and Norfolk Southern, articulate, if this is allowed to proceed, it will eliminate many of these handoffs. And it is a fundamental reality within supply chains that freight doesn't like to be treated like a baton at a relay race. It doesn't like to be handed off. The more you can minimize handoffs, the more efficient that system is. And so that's what they're arguing. So what this would essentially result in is one true coast-to-coast railroad in the United States for the very first time. And so there's obviously a lot of ramifications and potential ripple effects of that. And so that's what the proposal is. There still needs to be government regulators, particularly the Surface Transportation Board, that have to approve it. But this is going to be a big topic of discussion moving forward over the next year and a half at least.
Again, my guest today has been Mike Steenhoek, Executive Director of the Soy Transportation Coalition. Today's update brought to us by the Ohio Soybean Council and your soybean checkoff.
Get the equipment and trucks you need at the Ritchie Brothers' next Great Lakes Regional event on December 16th and 17th. This absolute unreserved auction will feature online bidding, and items are located in Columbus, Chicago, and Detroit. Choose from close to 3,000 items, including a wide selection of construction equipment, semi-trucks, and more. Don't miss Ritchie Brothers Great Lakes Regional Event on December 16th and 17th. For more details, visit rbauction.com. Again, that's rbauction.com.
Now let's take a look at the markets. Brought to you by Seed Consultants, simply better performance. Learn more online at seedconsultants.com. December corn closing in today up 6 1/4 at 437 3/4. March corn is up 3 3/4 at 447 1/4. January soybeans are up 3 3/4 at 1119 1/2. March soybeans are up 3 1/4 at 1128 3/4. December wheat is up 3 1/4 at 541. December live cattle are up 250 at 221.45. December lean hogs are up 57 cents at 81.12. And March feeder cattle are up 392 at 329.72. Thanks for joining us. You're listening to the Ohio AgNet.